And good evening. It's Donna Drake, and it's 17 past the hour of 6 p.m. Here in a beautiful day in Long Island. Sorry about that. There was a accident in the HOV lane, and for those listeners that don't know what the HOV means, I used to think it was like hazardous, occupied vehicles, but it's not. It's like you're supposed to have at least more than one passenger. But interestingly enough, the two people that had the car accident, Eric, they only had one person in each car. So now they're in double whammy trouble.
That has to be impossible because nobody breaks the law here on Long Island.
No, nobody breaks the law on Long Island. So I'm wishing them well. It doesn't look like anybody was hurt, which is always a good thing. Just a little fender bender. And I'm excited because a fellow St. Louisan, J.T. Hayden, is going to be my guest today. He's one of our winners on Reverb Nation. And JT and I actually got to meet because I went home to St. Louis for a wedding. The child of a childhood friend got married, and that starts to get really creepy when you remember being in somebody's wedding and then all of a sudden you're at the wedding and you're the older crowd, like the parents of the bride crowd. So it was a different experience, but it was wonderful. Had that happen to me twice this year. Both my friend Kathy's daughter got married and my friend Lynn's daughter got married, both friends from kindergarten, and I'm proud to say that I still have friends from kindergarten. What an amazing gift that is. And then, so that meant that J.T. Hayden, who's from St. Louis, Missouri, I was able to call him up, and actually he called me and said, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Looking forward to being one of the winners from Reverb Nation contest." I said, hey, I happen to be in St. Louis. We were like 2 exits away from each other, Eric, closer than the accident to your house.
Really?
And yeah. So we met at the Cracker Barrel. So that's why on Facebook you see the picture of JT and I at the Cracker Barrel. But I love the Cracker Barrel. Do you know they're actually putting one in Long Island?
I pray to God they would. I love the Cracker Barrel. I love walking through the store. Just the store itself and seeing all the old stuff and everything like that.
It's Christmas every day at the Cracker Barrel.
That's what it is. And they got good food, too. They actually
have
good food.
I like the meatloaf.
I like them better than Denny's,
You do?
Absolutely.
Grand Slam and Denny's?
Well, you know what? Depends.
Such a foodie.
We were actually disappointed by the Denny's in Center Reach because when they started that, they had like a 4.5-hour wait to get in. So finally we had the opportunity to get into Denny's, and it turned out that it was miserable. The food was miserable. The service was miserable. We never went back.
They need a do-over.
Absolutely.
My grandfather was a chef, so I kind of grew up with good eating.
Oh, good. There you go.
So there you go. So
gotcha.
I grew up with, he used to make like polenta and chicken cacciatore that I always called kitchen cacciatore.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then my other grandfather was also a great cook. So I grew up eating really well in my family.
Very good.
And now when I have time to cook, I try.
Yep.
I'm good at making. Hey, I just saw a yellow rose on your screensaver.
Did you?
Those are important to me.
Why is that?
Because yellow roses represent my mother, who lives in heaven now.
See that? So there's your mom.
And
She's saying hello. Say hi. Say hi.
Yellow roses. Okay, so I know JT was going to call in. Do you think we can get him on the phone?
I'm going to actually call him.
Okay.
Hold on just 1 second.
8675309.
I just want to introduce you because Donna, let you know right now you are live on what's called Meerkat.
Hello, Meerkat.
All right, and say hello to everybody on Meerkat and also on Periscope. You're out there right now, so
Meerkat.
whole new breed of
Hello,
audience here. And
Periscope.
I'm going to get him.
Periscope's fun, and so is Meerkat.
Yep.
I love all this new technology, and I like, being a kind of a grown up. Although I'll never grow up. I think I have Peter Pan syndrome.
Do you?
Yeah, but is it Penelope Pan syndrome? If you're like a chick.
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell. I have Tinkerbell.
You have Tinkerbell syndrome.
Oh, I'm definitely a Tinkerbell.
All right.
I'm a little princess in my own right. Okay, so I was just gonna say, do you need his number? Because I have his number.
Nope, I got it right here.
Okay.
Now Linda is texting me saying, "Are you on Periscope or Meerkat?"
Periscope.
Because all right, for some reason she said she meant Periscope. Okay, good. Here we go. We're gonna call him.
Hi, Linda.
Say hi.
I see Linda. Who knows Romper Room? You guys, did you have Romper Room?
Absolutely, Romper Room, Bozo.
Yeah.
I had them all. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Hold on. Here we go.
And wishing everybody that has a birthday today, happy birthday, all my Libra friends. A lot of Libra friends, man. Tons of them.
I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, when the moon is in the seventh house.
Hello.
Hi, JT. It's Donna.
Hi, Donna. How are you?
Good. I made it. I made it to the studio.
Hey, that's good. At least you got there safe and all of that. That's what's important.
I did. It would be kind of like, can you imagine on Highway 40 in St. Louis, like there being like an accident in the fast lane and people just stopping to look? That's what we had. Yeah, that's what we had here. We have a highway
it's
called...
probably like that all the time.
Yeah. Although Highway 40, they did a really nice job refinishing all of that with all the new bridges and stuff. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a lot better, I guess. It still has problems, though. I mean, it's,
Nothing's
I
perfect,
guess,
right? Nothing's perfect. Well, you work actually with your hands. Tell us a little bit about what your day job is.
I'm a laborer, and actually I've been working nights lately, but I've been in the laborers union for a couple years. But I used to be in the carpenters union out here in St. Louis, and have been in there for about 14 years. So yeah, I've been working with my hands all my life, I guess, most of my life,
And when
including guitar.
I was just gonna say, and when did you pick up your finest tool, your most interesting tool of the trade? When did you start picking up a guitar?
Actually, it's been most of my life. My dad's side of the family, we come from a long line of musicians on my dad's side, and actually, while I'm on that, my great grandfather, he used to build fiddles here in Missouri, and little miniature fiddles and stuff. And he's actually in the Missouri Folklore Hall of Fame for playing music and playing fiddle back in the day.
And I heard a little something about what his actual reward was. Wasn't he gifted some like land or something? Wasn't that his prize?
Yeah. Now this is going like just after the Great Depression era, shortly after. And he won 100 acres of land in Steelville, Missouri, in a competition. And then that kind of set things off for him as a musician, winning that competition. And he had been on several AM radio stations back then, and would play fiddle on the radio and play shows. So it's been so. I found out I got this legacy. I got to kind of
carry on the family. Wait, carrying on the family tradition, right?
Right.
Well, I did get. I don't know if I shared this with you, but did I tell you that I got to meet Charlie Daniels?
I think I remember you saying something about that.
So
whenever we met up.
Yeah. So when I got to interview Charlie Daniels, I asked him if he named his fiddles. He goes, "Yeah, fiddle 1, fiddle 2, and fiddle 3." So I was like, I was expecting it to be like Lucille or named after some women or something like that. But
right.
But so now, did you also get to play fiddle when you were little? Did you play that, or did you not learn that instrument?
I grew up in Collinsville, Illinois, just outside of St. Louis. And what was really cool, for a short time, I lived in Edwardsville, which is real close to Collinsville. They had an orchestra program. And I was in third grade, I guess. And I actually wound up winning a state medal, a first place state medal playing fiddle when I was in third grade. But I was the only one in the class that never did have sheet music. My instructor, she would kind of like let me slide on it. I never did really get into reading music. I always just played by ear. So the class, they would play, but I picked up proper technique and did all that for a while. And but I kind of got out of it. I got into really liking the guitar a whole lot. And then doing, branching off of the fiddle and stuff, or violin.
That's very cool. So in third grade, they didn't give you 100 acres of land, did they?
No, I never did get 100 acres of land. but
that's such.
But I'm working on it.
That's such a sweet story. That's very, very cool. Like at an early age, you kind of realized that you had a gift, a natural gift.
Right.
Who are some of the people in your family that appreciated that musicianship in you? Like at that time, who kind of said to you, "Oh, you know what? We enjoy hearing you play. Could you play for us?" Or who were some of your biggest fans when you were little?
I'd have to say my dad. I mean, he's a player too. So it's funny. They got a picture of me when I was about 2 years old, maybe 3. I don't know. I'm running around with an old cowboy hat on and my plastic Willie Nelson guitar, and but they've both my parents have been my biggest inspiration and supporters, in music throughout my whole life. So I was blessed with having parents that kind of they like the music as well. So it was just kind of a neat a nice thing to have,
That is nice.
So.
Whenever somebody says Willie Nelson's name, I always think about Waylon and Willie and the boys. Like there's.
Oh yeah.
Willie Nelson
Yeah.
is like so wonderful, and I like him too because of all the things that he did over the years for farmers and just his philanthropic heart. And I don't know. There's something about old country to me. I mean, and that's not even old country. That's almost like mid-level. Because then there were people way before that. But
Right.
I grew up listening to country music because my car growing up, my very first car was a Nova, and actually it was an Impala.
Ooh, nice.
I think it was an Impala. Maybe it was I don't know. It was some car, and it was like built like a tank, but it only had an AM radio. So I used to
Right.
listen to Alabama, and I remember when they had a concert. Was it the Checker Dome? What was that? The Checker Dome, I guess.
Checker Dome. Yeah, the Checker Dome.
Yeah, and I got to kiss all the members of Alabama. That was like my biggest claim to fame. But I loved country music because that's what I could get on 55 or whatever my radio could dial in on my AM.
Right.
But so it's fun for me now to see that country is making such a huge crossover, and it has for the last 10 years, I think, into more of a pop listener, right? It used to be that, if you like the Mason-Dixon line or whatever, like everybody south liked
Yeah.
country, but nobody north liked country. But now it seems like country is the one of the hottest genres that there are.
Oh yeah, and it's real versatile too. I mean, it's becoming a little more laid back with accepting other genres of music and kind of crossing over into other things.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of fun.
it's real open for a lot of pop artists or rock artists as well. I mean, if you would have told me back in the day, back when I was listening to Bon Jovi and stuff, that Bon Jovi would actually become kind of like a country artist one day, I would have laughed at shit. But now it's starting to really kind of open up. I like that because I like all kinds of music, So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I know we're going to be listening to a little something that you have, but I have to ask Eric first. Is that a possibility, Eric?
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. So
Ready
you want
to
to
go.
stop talking and we'll start listening, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
Do you want to stop talking?
The St. Louis agree's coming out. You want to stop talking? All right, JT. Let's listen to something from you. Okay.
JT, we have. Why don't you choose the song? I have "Alone Inside," Caroline, and "Like Bonnie and Clyde."
Ooh, Alone Inside's been getting a lot of airplay lately on some mainstream radio in New York. You could blast that one out, maybe. That's a good ballad. But I really love Bonnie and Clyde. But
Well, we're going to play all three of them, so we'll start with Alone
But it
Inside.
feels like we're playing Millionaire. Where he
Right.
says, he says,
Right,
"Alone
right.
Inside is good, but I
Right.
really like Bonnie and Clyde." So Donna, why don't you,
Right.
JT, why don't you DJ us in? Which song are we doing?
Alone Inside,
All right,
yeah.
why don't you DJ us in? Go ahead, give it to us.
Okay, JT, tell us.
we'll go ahead and Alone Inside. That'll be a good one, maybe.
All right, here you go. J.T. Hayden, Donna Drake, and J.T. Hayden, "Alone Inside."
I don't want to close my eyes because I would dream of you. I don't want to feel the pain that brings me every time I look at you. I could never fall in love and watch you walk out again and leave me there with my heart breaking. I can't feel that way again. It's been so long now, I don't know how to be the man that you want me to be. When I lose myself in the things you say, it hurts so bad when you're walking away. And I don't know if I'll ever love again. And this is why heart breaking. I can't feel that way again. It's been so long now, I don't know how to be the man that you want me to be. When I lose myself in the things you say, it hurts so bad when you're walking away. And I don't know if I'll ever love again. And this is why, 'cause I'll never have to feel alone inside. 'Cause I'll never have to feel alone inside. Alone inside. Alone inside. Alone inside.
JT, welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. So we just muted you so that we could play the song. So don't hang up on us. we love you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I lost the signal.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So that was really beautiful. And I've got this big strapping burly guy next to me on either side. And,
Why, thank you,
and
Donna.
they were even getting emotional. So, like, you know, you're heartfelt. Your songs are heartfelt.
Rich, can you
So
hand
tell
me,
us
hand me a tissue?
I know. It's good. It's good. You're very, very talented. Beautiful voice, lovely song. We're applauding you. So now, why do you think Alone Inside is doing so commercially well for you right now? What is the secret to that song's success?
I think it's probably the emotion that I'm singing, and you know, I mean, I'm singing with my whole heart in that, and I think a lot of people can tell when a song's real, when it comes from the heart, and when it's just something that's kind of made up, you know. So I mean, there's it takes a talent to be able to just kind of make up a song that you don't really have emotions tied to really pull it off and make it sound real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
you can't fake country, I don't think. You know, like, you just can't. Like, you've either lived through it or you haven't lived through it, and people can always tell, you know?
Right.
So I always said, like, what did I tell you at the Cracker Barrel? I said I wanted to do a song about hugging an armadillo and Amarillo, and, you know, but I've never hugged an armadillo and Amarillo, so, you know, it's not going to have the same punch.
Right.
You know, who's to say I won't, though? I don't know. Like, there's still an option for me to go down there. What was the first song you ever wrote?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What was the first song that you ever wrote? What was your first song?
Oh, boy. Well, I got into recording. It was funny. My best friend, who's real close to me now still, he lives in Ohio now, but his dad used to play music back in the day. He had a little Tascam 4-track reel-to-reel recorder that me and him kind of discovered in his basement one day. And, you know, we were, you know, teenagers. We were like, hey, let's put a band together. Let's do some stuff. So I started recording and getting into writing back then. And I'd say, you know, back in that time, we were like real big Metallica fans, and, you know, the 90s, you know, I'm in my 30s, but early 30s, but so, you know, he had like Nirvana and all the 90s grunge and everything. So we kind of wrote, I'd say the very first song that I wrote was with him, and it was kind of a bluesy kind of heavy rock type song called Hypnotize. And I remember my mom had just bought me a nice Les Paul, and man, I was so excited. This brand new guitar, and he had just gotten some new guitars. He got a couple of bass guitars, and we sat down and we wrote that out. And I used to actually perform it. I lived in Soulard. I don't know. Well, you're from around here, so you know where Soulard is downtown.
It's near the arch for those listeners that are in different parts of the world. But yeah, it's by the river.
But and since it was kind of bluesy, you know, I used to perform it out in some of them local bars and stuff around there, and people really liked it. You know, they were really impressed. But it was some kind of, I don't know. I wasn't as polished back then, of course, but
Well, maybe you can revisit that song, right?
maybe recut it.
Yeah, maybe you could. And you know what's so unique about one of the things that the listeners may or may not know about you is that you tend to record all the different parts. You do a lot of the tracks yourself, and then you layer them. Is that still true? Is that still how you do things?
All the songs like the Alone Inside that you just heard, I did all the tracks myself, but I am actually currently working on an EP. I got in with a really good producer. He co-produced the Dixie Chicks and Viva La Lobos boys, I think, from Texas. He's from Austin. Yeah. And
is that the guy that you met when you were working on something? You were sheetrocking or something?
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that story. That's you never know who you're going to meet or how the tapestry of your life is going to fall in place, right? You just don't know.
Oh, that's totally correct. I believe that wholeheartedly. I mean, I think that everyone's on a road, you know, and you might branch off and you do different things, but something always calls you back to that same road. And I think the reason you branch off is to discover other people that might be able to benefit from what you have to accomplish on your road. So I'm a big believer in all that. So.
I used to like to watch the we were talking about Soulard. I used to like, as a young girl, watching the river flow because, you know, you realize that all of that water, like, you know, as it's going down the journey of the river, it's picking up a stick here, a twig there, it's picking up a rock, you know, it's picking up some leaves, and it's just kind of like, just keeps rolling. I was going to say keeps rolling along. Obviously, that's another big famous song, but and I think life is sometimes like that, you know, like you might, like you said, you might like get off on a little tributary, you might like, you know, have a picnic, you know, or like a float trip, you know, like when you're floating down the river and you stop off, you have a little lunch, you know, you get back in the boat.
Yeah.
Right. So you're right. Life is sometimes like that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that you've been recognized, and I don't want you to be humble because I know you're a really humble person, but let's brag a second, if we can, about some of the awards that you got, like the Colgate thing and some different things that you've gotten recently.
Oh, yeah. Back a few years back, I won locally in the Colgate Country Showdown, and you know, it's just little old me with a guitar, and I'm going up against, I think it was about 12 different full bands that were on stage. So I was really intimidated, you know, right out of the gate. I'm like, you know, how am I going to compete with all these guys? They got full bands and everything. And, but I wound up winning, and you would have thought that I won the, you know, a Grammy award or something. I felt so honored, you know.
I don't think it's going to be long.
Really
I think you will be having some Grammys. I really do. So but yeah, so the Colgate Country Award you won, and I just saw on Facebook too, you won something else recently. Starts with an A.
Yes, actually, for Alone Inside, it won an award in LA through the Academedia Awards, and which is pretty much the main reason why it's starting to kind of get blasted on main radio a little bit. So I'm on I had to look up I got links on my Facebook page, but
okay. So
it's getting played in LA, New York, Chicago, Brazil, and Tokyo.
Very cool. And on Reverb Nation, do you know what your rank is right now?
I think it's still at number 1 here locally. So.
I know. I was really proud of you. I was like, all right, J.T. Hayden. That's fantastic. You're doing really well. So I'm very happy for all your success. Let's play another song, Eric, if we can. Oh, Eric's checking you out on Facebook right now. He's like, oh, wait, let me go to his Facebook page. You're sharing. Yeah.
I'm sharing J.T.
J.T. Hayden. So let's play. You want to play Caroline?
Sure, yeah. That's a good one.
All right, let's do Caroline.
For iRadio USA, Live It Up Radio. Here you go with J.T. Hayden.
She's a long, long way from home. She's got a little car, she calls her home. She's always on the run. She's gotta chase those dreams before they're gone. Caroline, what are you gonna do? Caroline, I've been in love with you for some time. My Caroline, my love is for the taking, and I'll be sitting here waiting, my Caroline. There's a pain inside my heart ever since she's been away. I only had the strength to tell her if I could have found the words to say. Caroline, what are you gonna do? Caroline, I've been in love with you for some time. My Caroline, my love is for the taking. I've been sitting here waiting, my Caroline. When she's all alone, she'll call me on the phone. When she comes back home, I will be there. I'll be there, Caroline. I live just south of Atlanta, and this city just isn't the same. Caroline, what are you gonna do? Caroline, I've been in love with you for some time. My Caroline, my love is for the taking, and I've been sitting here waiting. My love is for the taking, my Caroline. My Caroline. My Caroline. My Caroline. My Caroline. My Caroline. My Caroline, my Caroline.
Nice. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, JT, I'm like, you know, if I get married again, I want JT to play at my wedding. So I'm putting in the
I'd be
request
honored
now.
to do that. Yeah.
I'm putting in the request. I need to find a suitor first, so it might be a while. But you know, your music, you know, they say it's got a little Keith Urbanishness to it, and the Allman Brothers. But there's another famous JT that I think of when I hear your music, and that's James Taylor. I feel
Really?
like, yeah, you have such an emotionally well developed sound. It's nice. Nicely done. So. It's good for me to be able to get lost in your music, you know, to kind of just forget my crazy busy day, to just kind of peacefully listen to it and to be transported to somewhere else. And I think that's when you hear music that can actually make you feel like that, then you know
Right.
that you've got a hit on your hands. So congratulations for being able to give so many people that gift, the gift of relaxation, the gift of transporting somewhere different, you know. So nicely done. Thank you so much for your gift and sharing it with us the way that you do. And you're working on the EP now, so tell us about that. How far along are you in that process?
I just got done doing all the scratch tracks and everything, and we have quite a great lineup of studio musicians that we're going to bring in, and Kevin Hamilton is the producer on it. And let me tell you, this guy, he's got some great ideas, and me and him are kind of on the same wavelength on a lot of things. And, Alone Inside is going to be on it for sure.
Okay.
Caroline, it was a toss-up to have Caroline on that one. That's probably just only doing 6 songs. I do have a few other songs too that are a little bit more upbeat, so we don't want to put too many slow songs on the first EP, but it might be something that goes on an album, later finished off. But,
yeah, you don't want to pass that one by and put that in a drawer. I'm just saying. So that could be like the next one out. That could be the hit on the second one. That way you're not going to be
right.
like just have like one thing. I mean, you'll have a whole series of EPs out there, right? But yeah, don't leave Caroline in the drawer. I'm telling you right now, don't leave her in the drawer. She's good because you can dance to her, and that. People are going to start naming their kid Caroline after the song. I mean, it's going to be a great American classic. I'm calling it right now.
Oh wow, I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'm so honored and overwhelmed with all the wonderful compliments and everything everyone giving me on the music, and I, me, like you said earlier, I'm a real humble person.
You are so humble.
Just normal people, and I do what I do, and to be so well received on something, that you work so hard on and kind of put your heart and soul into. It's just such an honor, such a great blessing, great wonderful feeling.
Well, don't quit. Yeah, don't quit. You're doing great things. And I know you have some interesting hobbies that might surprise our listeners. What are some of the other things that you enjoy doing?
Well, I do like to paint and stuff like that. I've always been fascinated with drawing and stuff. I like to naturally, me being a carpenter, I like to build stuff. So I done a little bit of furniture building as well, and kind of crafty in that. And then sports. Growing up, I played football most of my younger life, my childhood life, and all the way up into high school. So sports is a big hobby, and pretty much I think that's my main hobbies right there.
Very cool. And you were talking about your friend from Ohio that's still your friend, and one of the things we did talk about is we shared about situations in life where people aren't so nice to us when we're younger and we're coming up and getting bullied or mistreated and things like that. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't have that experience in life. But I think that the challenges that you've overcome in life have made you who you are. They've kind of colored you a little bit in a certain way, so that you can connect with others and be relatable.
Right.
So I'm proud of you, and I'm happy for you that we all have demons in life, and we all have challenges, and we all have situations where people aren't kind. And I think you've done a really great job of rising above all of that.
Right.
And standing for what you believe in.
Well, yeah, people, they can be unkind, and then growing up, there was always those people, and even to this day, I mean, there's people that are like, oh, yeah, so you dream of being a musician, you dream of doing this and that, and, like, don't quit your day job, buddy, but I've never hated on anybody, and I've always just kind of looked at it like, okay, well, that's your point of view, and always felt a little sad because I'm real big, on we're all here in America, and America was built on dreams, and you got to follow your dreams. Everyone should follow their dreams. I think everyone has something that they dream about, or most people do, and they get kind of clouded with the day-to-day, grind and everything else. And there's a point of action where you got to say, okay, this is a dream, and this is how I kind of make it happen. And you gotta charge forward. You gotta not listen to the bad. Take the bad, because the bad actually helps you to stay strong.
It does sometimes.
And,
it fuels me sometimes. I'll be like, really? I'm like, okay, watch me.
Right,
I'll be
right.
like,
It's a motivator,
really?
So
Right.
yeah.
So sometimes I do take a little bit of that negativity, and I'm like, all right, well, that's you. That's how you feel, and that's fine. And maybe you're having a bad day, but I'm gonna shine. I'm gonna just keep shining. So, and I know that you wrote a really great song about people that maybe had a bad day, called Bonnie and Clyde, and that was the song that I heard that made me want to, pick you as one of our winners. So I want to listen to that, but tell me a little bit of the backstory of that, like how that happened.
Well, it's kind of funny. I was at my uncle's house, okay, and we were kind of hashing it out between my uncle's wife, which is my aunt by marriage, what her family, where she came from, and we were it's kind of funny. I mean, we were kind of like competing as to, well, whose family did what, and we're all sitting here on the back of his on his deck out of his house, and naturally I brought up, we're bringing up my great grandpa,
right,
and everything that he's done, in the Folklore Hall of Fame, and my aunt's, I guess her cousin, so I don't know exactly what she would be to me by marriage, maybe like my second cousin or something. She brought up that she is actually a blood relation to Clyde, of Bonnie and Clyde. Yes. So, well, I kind of took that, and then that gave me the idea of kind of wanting to write a song about with a Bonnie and Clyde feel, to it. And it didn't come about to actually have a title track of Bonnie and Clyde until I got with James Breedwell, and he's a great songwriter in Nashville. He writes all kinds of great songs. Got a lot of great cuts with a lot of great artists, and he's still currently doing a whole lot of big things. But I had the song all composed, all the music, and I had verse lines and stuff like that. But James come up to me and he's like, well, what is the feeling behind the song? What's the main story? And originally it was going to be a gal named Shotgun Annie, and I was looking at it and I was like, here's this country gal. She thinks she's going to rule the world with a shotgun. She's a real nice gal, but you don't want to mess with her because she's real mean. So that was going to be the main focus on the song. But we got to talking, and I'm like, just picture like a Bonnie and Clyde type of a feel behind the song. And he went with that. We both kind of ran with it. There's Bonnie and Clyde.
And there's Bonnie and Clyde. So
3 hours later, it was done. So,
that's great too, because we were talking about the fact that you are very prolific. Like something comes to you and you just go for it. It just kind of like filters right through you. So let's take a listen, Mr. DJ Eric, and to Bonnie and Clyde.
Absolutely.
Like Bonnie and Clyde.
Like Bonnie and Clyde by J.T. Hayden here on iRadio USA, Live It Up Radio.
Woo-hoo. That's great.
She lied to him like a thief in the night. Quick as she was gone from his sight. It never hit him until she was gone. He just laid there wondering why she took everything and left him dry. She's out there somewhere on the run,
I'm gonna put his music into rotation.
Some say they saw her
No,
down in
I'm gonna need that.
Baton
I'm gonna have to have him send me in for the race.
laying around looking for another fool. Others say she crossed that borderline with a tank full of gas and a lot of white lines. She was gone, gone, baby, no brakes, no maybe tearing up down the gravel dirt road. Left a memory and change around his heart. Not lonely, won't leave him alone. She robbed him and left him nothing behind. Like Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got pictures on the post office wall. Missing out an APB. But nobody really knows where she is. 'Cause there's really no leads. She's gone, gone, baby, no brakes, no maybe tearing up down the gravel dirt road. Left a memory and chains around his heart. Now lonely, won't leave him alone. She's gone, gone, baby, no brakes, no maybe tearing up down the gravel dirt road. Left a memory and chains around his heart. Now lonely, won't leave him alone. She robbed him and left him. She robbed him and left him. She robbed him and left him nothing behind. Like Bonnie and Clyde. Like Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, 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 like Bonnie and Clyde.
Yay! JT, that's a bonfire song. Do you know what
It's
I'm
got a
saying?
lot of energy in it, don't it?
It sure does.
It's a bonfire song. I have a really good friend that I went to grade school with, and her name is Lisa. Actually, I think her last name is the same as yours, Eric. Possibly.
Really?
I think it is.
Yeah,
Anyway,
maybe
so
we're related.
maybe I'll have to find that out. But Lisa Kostelnik was her name when she was growing up, and they have this huge, big bonfire out in someplace in Missouri near Mo Bottom, I think. Missouri Bottoms,
Oh.
and it's a giant. They make a stage, and they have all this like performance and stuff like that. But I can just see people like, people in their blue jeans and their white shirts, and people dancing around the bonfire and stuff. I like that song a lot. You know that I do.
Oh,
It's really good.
I really appreciate it.
It's really fun. So, what are some of the compliments and some of the other people saying about that? Besides saying it's a bonfire song, like what else are you hearing about it?
Oh, I'm hearing all kinds of great positive feedback. I'm on the Black Sheep Network, and they have a Spreaker account, and we get in there, and I like that, because you can get in there on the chat and stuff and chat with fans, and nothing but like kudos on that song. They love it. They, they're really kind of hung up right at the moment on this new one that I kind of got out. It's called Dancing in the Moonlight, and I incorporated a little hip hop in it. But
really?
Yeah, it's kind of neat,
All right. I'm going to have to hear that one too. You're going to have to email that one to me or send that to me. I don't know if you sent that one to me or not. It's called Dancing in the Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of my favorite songs is by Van Morrison. It's a lovely night for a moon dance. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if you know that song, but I know that song. But I want to hear your song. I want to hear your song about the moonlight.
Oh, yeah. Van Morrison is awesome, too, by the way.
Oh, you do know that. Okay.
Big Van Morrison fan. He's just got that jazzy, kind of laid-back, it sets like an ambiance,
Yeah.
and whatever atmosphere, you're in. I mean, especially for like an outside kind of gathering or something. Oh, man. Van Morrison's awesome.
There you go. So you're celebrating life. You're working on your EP. I know you have a beautiful family. Let's give them a nice shout out. And if there's anybody else that you'd like to say hello to or thank along the way, I'd be happy for you to do that now.
Oh, yes. My 3 kiddos, Parker, Emma, and Nathan. I love them with all my heart. I'm so proud of them. And all the fans, you know, that are tuning in off of Facebook. I can't even thank them and everyone so much for all the support that they give me, following my dreams and all my music. And you guys too, Donna. I mean, I'm so happy to have been able to meet you and to discover the Live It Up. And you do a lot of stuff for charity, which I really support. And you're just great people. I can tell. I could tell as soon as I met you. I could tell you were good people.
Thank you. I felt the same. I felt the same way about you, and I'm also really grateful. I want to give a shout out to my producer Lou Vaccarelli. So he's in Florida right now, and everybody too that's on my team. You know, like you said, JT, like we don't do this alone. It takes a lot of people around us and a lot of support. You need your cheerleaders. You know, you need people around you to be on the journey with you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, without it, it's too hard to even try to climb that mountain, you know. And when you're presented with a dream right out of the gate, it's like looking at the biggest mountain that you could possibly climb, and it's just a matter of getting up there and starting to climb. And then you, like you said, it's like the river. You kind of, once you're, you know, a quarter of the way up, you might run into some fellow people that are kind of climbing too, and you know, you meet all these great, wonderful people, and it's so awesome. I mean, there's nothing that I can say to explain how great of a feeling it gives you. You know, whenever you got a whole team and everything behind you, everyone believes in what you're doing and supports what you're doing, and it's awesome. It's like a big family, you know.
It truly is. My grandfather used to have a saying that there's a reason that there's a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker. You know, we all have different gifts, and I think it's our responsibility that if you're born with a talent, you need to use it, because not everybody's born with that talent. You know, there's some wonderful doctors, wonderful nurses, wonderful accountants. Like, everybody has a gift, and you just need to fully self-express who it is that you are. And lucky for you, you have a lot of talents. You have musical talents. You know, you can do wonderful things in carpentry. And who knows? Maybe you'll even design the cover or like a little back drawing on your EP. You never know.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Yeah.
I got some ideas for that. But,
all right, a little sketch here, a little sketch here or there. So I wish you all the best of luck. And you know, we're running a little over, and there's another. Christina is here, and she's got a show right after mine. But I just wanted to tell you, happy journeys to you, J.T. Hayden. I wish you all the best of luck and major success. And you're already such a gift to everyone that hears your music. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Donna and Eric. It was nice to meet you. And I really appreciate all the hospitality you guys have done.
JT, what I'd like to do is I'm going to get the MP3s from either you or from Donna, and I'm going to put them into rotation here on iRadio USA, so they'll be playing in mainstream. All right, right up here. So we're
awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll get you going up here too. So, and people are going to want to know who you are. So we'll just say, I don't know.
Great.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know that guy.
Who's that?
Happy journeys, and live it up until we meet again.
All right, live it up, y'all.
Okay, live it up.
Live it up.
J.T. Hayden on liveitupradioshow.com. Woohoo! And thank you to you, the listeners. Thanks for being with us during this hour. Happy journeys to you.